We are live. It is time for another Q&A behind the scenes with Jamaal Bivens, who was here last week. He was so
I sure
good
was.
that we had to do a two-parter. And
I'm
we got
popular.
stuff. Don't forget to make sure you go and share this on your pagina, please.
I'm doing that right now. I'm sharing right this instant. So I can
That's how you
tell
say
people. It's not, no, that ain't it.
Reggee. I can't get that rhythm back, man, because that was so good.
Reggees. I
Expression.
can't. Who birthday is it? Hey, happy birthday. Um, I see where you were live with, we're back with part two. Is that what that is?
hmm
Oh, hallelujah. There we go. Let's share right now. Right post. And we, oops, add a can. And we, I hate this Samsung because it really like assumes what I'm trying to do. And we are super live right
hmm
now with a good old random, random Q&A. Get your questions in. Rat nine. You know you got to say it like Duval
hmm
because otherwise they'll be like, "What? What does that mean?" All right, I done shared it. I'm ready.
All
I'm a little
right.
scared.
Don't forget to go to StreamYard and actually have your permissions show so we can see your comments on there. Um, so it should tell
Yes.
you that. Some destinations won't get comments. Learn more. So, Mr. Jamal, how you doing today?
Hello. Good morning. Oh, that's loud.
Good morning,
I went live.
sir. Good
I
morning.
went live on my phone. I went live on my phone and I heard it. I said,
hmm
I'm, I'm doing all right, sir. Thank you. How are you?
Well, if you hear, I feel like I have
Hmm.
that's a little nasally going on. But
Ooh.
what's funny is I'm not sick, or I don't feel sick. So I'm hoping that it's just I don't know
It
something.
sounded wet.
What?
Whatever was going on in there, it sounded real wet.
Uh, but Carlos was sick a couple days ago, so it's the gift that keeps on giving. So
And I give it back.
yeah, he's in his house because when I there that actually happened one time. We both got sick. I got sick, and then he got sick, and then I got sick again, and then he got sick again.
See, that's why you got to separate.
Yeah,
You got
well,
to.
now we can't anymore because we have Juanithio who sleeps in the other room and Danilo. Did I tell you about that?
Oh,
Did I tell you about
I
that?
remember. Yeah, last week you said he was staying
Right.
there for a little bit.
Yeah. So
I don't know who the other person you just named. I remember
Juan
Juan. I remember.
Juan is that's the yeah Juan was the guy that was on the last time. You didn't get a chance
Hmm.
to Danilo because Danilo was at work.
Oh, got you.
But
Now
yeah,
who's Danilo?
Danilo is a gentleman. that's, that's he is a guy who who can talk and walk, and he's from Venezuela. And that's about all I can tell you. No,
That's all I got.
he's a pretty good guy, but it's interesting because it's like we're parents. I'm not gonna go too much in detail because I want to obviously protect their privacy, but
Of course, of course.
it's like being parents. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
the most exhausting yet rewarding yet frustrating thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
They're visiting. They're
Huh?
visiting. They're pass. I said they're visiting. They're passing through.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, sure. I mean, this isn't going to be where they're going to end up. Yeah, but
Right. That's why I said passing through. So now
some new
go with it.
challenges, some new challenges that I never thought that I would have to take in consideration. But it's fun. I appreciate them. They're good people. They're good
That's
guys.
good. That's good.
Juan wants to
Well,
learn.
hello, Juan Decimo and
Juan Decimo.
Dan- Danilio.
Danilo.
Danilio. I think Danilio sounds cooler.
Danilo.
Danilio and Juan Decimo.
But yeah, they're good people. Juan wants to learn how to do what I'm doing. He has over 2,400 followers on his Instagram, and he just doesn't know how to create content. And I'm like, it's easy, you know. You just got to
It's
live.
easy.
You know what I'm saying? I
You got
wish
to
I had
do it and then grow
2,400.
your audience.
I don't even know if I know 2,400 folks. You know what I'm saying?
It comes with the territory.
Yeah,
Just
I guess. I guess.
it's
When you're a local
it's who we are. What'd you say?
when you're a local celebrity like you is.
What can I say?
So catch
It's
us up.
who I am.
What have you have been doing the last week?
You know what? That's such a loaded question at the same time that it's not.
Oh,
Um, no, I honestly, I haven't really done much of anything. Um, and it's weird because I thought I would be like mad about it or I thought I would get sick of it.
mm,
There is something so amazing about not setting an alarm in the morning.
mm,
I need my
really?
next endeavor needs to be something I can do from home whenever the F I feel like it. So I don't
Mm-hmm,
have to set
hmm
any alarms. I just wake up when I
I
feel
know.
like it.
I know what that's like. Trust
And
me.
if I wake up too early, I can say and go back to bed.
That's it. That's it.
Lay right back down because that's not it. I went to Daytona Beach.
I saw that.
Um was that yesterday or the day before? Hung out with my friend Alan. Shout out to Alan.
You
Haven't
got
seen Alan
friends?
in a little
High
while.
five. Oh, okay. Go ahead. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry. No, that was quite the build up. Boo.
So yeah, I did that. I helped one of my friends like make a song, kind of like a little song. We did some arranging and things like that the other day. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's really it. Like,
Mm-hmm. Did you go to the
did
beach?
some shopping. Did I go where?
To the beach?
What is the what?
The beach. The beach.
Oh, I was like, I have bees in my DMs, but that's a whole other conversation.
That's
Um,
that's how Carlos says beach.
oh,
You gonna
I
go to?
want to go to the ditch.
No,
Let's go to the ditch.
I
Like,
don't want to go
no,
there.
it's beach.
I
Beach.
know. I
Show
know.
your teeth and say it. Beach.
Beach. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I haven't gone to the beach yet.
Hmm.
Even when I was in Daytona Beach, I didn't go beachside. I was just mainly by the outlet mall and I got something to eat and stuff. And that was it. Like, I didn't, it hasn't really been to me hot enough to really go swimming.
Yeah.
So that's what I would go. I don't want to walk on the beach and have the wind blowing and all. Mm-mm. I
Can
want
you
to get in the
swim?
water. Absolutely. I
Mm.
used to be a certified lifeguard for the Chicago Park District. So,
That's very interesting. So you didn't
hey,
save
thank
it,
you.
right?
I don't know about all that. That was maybe about 100 pounds ago.
Hmm. Hmm.
No, I can still swim. I can swim.
I can't swim at all.
Are you serious?
No, I can't.
What is it about black people and swimming? I don't understand.
Well,
We just
there's actually this whole thing behind why we can't, and it has everything to do with the fact that we were, brought here on slave ships and stuff like that. So yeah,
okay.
look it up. Seriously, it's.
I don't disagree with that, but you know how I am. I'm the type of person that has always liked to challenge stereotypes.
Mhm.
So I've never heard that particular one. I'm
Yeah,
probably
I
glad I
don't know the
didn't because I'd have
specific,
been like,
but there is something behind it. There is definitely something behind it,
I mean,
and then
that sounds,
and then also you got to think about Jim Crow laws and when they used to put acid in the water and all that.
yeah.
Black people was just like, no, I'm good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So a lot of us
So,
was.
so it's
Even,
almost like it's been like passed on for generations to generations.
And
that
I'm directly from the South. I'm from Albany, so you know what I'm saying.
yes, you are.
So they were
All
doing that. They were doing that shit real strong back then. So
Albany. Ugh,
Albany, Georgia.
ugh.
You never got an opportunity to go when I went. When I wanted to take you, you never did.
I feel like I did go with you once.
No, I begged you to go.
I've I've definitely been to Albany. Who did I go to
Yeah,
Albany
it
with?
wasn't with me. I every year I get
Oh,
there saying, "Hey, I'm in Albany."
did I
Whenever,
do that?
yeah,
Was
because
that me?
you tagged me in it. And it was a video that you did with somebody else that was in it with you. So mhm.
Who the hell was I in Albany
I,
with?
when I see it again and it pops up, I'll have to show it. I'll have to tag.
I'm really trying to remember. Like, I remember going, but who was I with? I was on a Greyhound. Why was I? Why was I there?
That's even worse. A Greyhound.
See, oh, hello, humble beginnings. Now we drive there because we
Innings.
ain't flying there. We ain't doing that.
So you went to Daytona yesterday.
The day before yesterday.
You didn't do a whole lot, but you like the fact that you don't have to set an alarm. That's cool.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
did you get in touch with any old friends at Coles, or did anybody reach out to you and ask you what was going on? Or
Oh, yeah. I had a few people, reach out and say, were checking on me mainly, to make sure that I was okay, but then also to say how the um, the atmosphere has kind of shifted a little bit.
hmm
Um, one of my other coworkers said that he went to work and it was just this kind of gloom in the air, and I was like, don't let it be that way. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying? I
hmm
get it that, maybe I brought about a certain type of energy, but it's up to y'all to continue that energy. Like, I shouldn't have been the only person carrying that energy. So,
yeah,
you try to give people the positivity back even in your absence. So hopefully they can do that. I really hated hearing that though. I really did.
hmm
Um, because when I've worked in that building for 8 months, and you really get to know people that you work with, the mainstays, and it's sad to hear that the atmosphere is kind of
hmm
um but listen, like I told everybody else, it wasn't my choice.
any any feedback or anybody listened to the show or watched the show that said anything to you?
Yes, actually, a couple people. None.
Okay.
I don't think they watched it live, but probably went back and watched it.
hmm
Of course, I had a couple people that told me I shouldn't have, told all my business and all that stuff. But I think it's important to have these conversations because they may effect change.
hmm
Maybe you never know.
hmm
Um, I told my story because it was my truth. I don't have anything to hide.
hmm
You've known me, Reginald. You've known me what, 12, 13 years,
75 years.
something like that. Yes, you're 75. I'm 39, and so,
I was
so
about
you
to then.
right. We was pushing each other on the swings on the playground. Um, you of all people would know that I'm a very forthcoming person. To a lot of things that I deem important. So I don't understand why people think that I wouldn't say anything about what happened. What somebody told me to go talk to a lawyer. Somebody told me that one person told me to go burn the building down, and I was like,
Mm.
that's not fair to the people, that are there. Like, I don't want to mess up anybody else's livelihood.
Right. Yeah. We don't want
I don't want to be that guy. I'm
you.
not
We,
retaliatory, so I don't. It is what it is. It is what it is. Like I mentioned in the live, I don't hold any ill will towards anybody.
hmm
Even some of the people that I felt like were I don't want to say behind it, but even some of the people that I think had a direct hand in what's going on, I don't
hmm
have any ill will towards them. I don't have any, you know, if I see them, I'll still say hi. If they don't say hi back, that's fine. But I'll definitely say hi, like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't see you just because I don't work there anymore. I will stress. I will stress this, and I will die on this hill if I have to. And I want to say this perfectly and be perfectly 1000% clear
Mhm.
when I say this. No, I'm going to say this how I said it to the lady. I have a very hard time believing
Mhm.
that the people that were directly affected by my actions were the people that said something. Very hard time because actually two of them actually reached out to me. So I was just like, they don't strike me as the people that kind of the type of people to kind of reach out, um, like being shady or something. Like it seemed like genuine concern. So I was like, okay, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't want to say too much. I don't want to be that guy
Mhm.
trying to blame anyone for what happened to me.
Mhm.
Um, at the end of the day, concrete, fine lines. Yes, I did what they said that I did. Yes, they're against, whatever policies or something. I just always had an issue with how things played out. And I just think there was just some gross negligence and egregiousness there, but
Mhm.
water under the bridge.
And there was
Water.
something that you wanted to say, you wanted to be clear about, um, before we talked. Do you remember what that was?
I do. I do. I watched the live that we did,
Mhm.
and I think you definitely mentioned it in the live, and I want to reiterate it as well and make it perfectly clear that me explaining my actions, me explaining the process behind the scenes and things like that always saying that we're trying to victim shame or saying people that are affected by some types of things should not say something. Anybody who knows me, anytime I did orientation for any of my former employers, I was very, 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 very firm about saying something when something happens to you. And I want to reiterate that. Please don't think that because something happened to me, I think I'm above any type of law or any type of rules or anything like that. That's not the case. While I might have a way, I might feel differently about how things played out and how things were handled. I don't think they were handled very well. But at the end of the day, people do have the right to say something if they feel a certain way. And I wholeheartedly stand by that. Not that either you or me, and my light just fell. Not, not that either you nor me were, portraying that victims don't have a right to say something. But I do want to make that very, very clear. I don't. I'm 100% for victims' rights. I always feel like the facts of a situation will always play out, and life has a funny way of taking care of things anyway. So,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
I've definitely wanted to point that out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and that's definitely a good point. I want to make sure as well, go on record by saying that that was nothing. We weren't intending to do that, or
Hmm.
um, we weren't intending to do. I don't think that we did that. I think we just wanted to make sure we were clear that the process in which it happened was what we were kind of picking holes into.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
but I definitely appreciate you sharing your story a lot more, and I think it will do something for people because they say I'm gonna repeat something, and if he hears this, he'll know I'm talking about him.
Oh Lord.
But I was talking to somebody a couple days ago, um, and they were like, they posted on their Facebook page, I'm sick of people saying that my truth, their truth, her truth, their this truth, and it's like, because he was like, well, it's only one truth. Yeah, sure. I mean, but we're also talking about perspective too. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's the nuance. That's the caveat. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That even though there's truth, there's also perception involved as well.
Absolutely.
And we can't deny, because there's something that I might see that you might not, that I react to strongly that you might not, and that has everything to do with the fact that we were raised differently. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we have different influences and stuff like that. So I get it, and I joked around with him about it because although I understand where he's coming from, it's one of those things that you kind of get the idea. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It goes unsaid that there's one truth. You know. Uh,
Absolutely. It's like we know that. We know
mhm.
that there's one truth. But
So
like you said, there are multiple perspectives.
when you said speaking my truth, that made me think of that. So
Speaking my truth.
yeah, it's my
My
truth.
truth.
And I can only speak for me, and it's true. You can
I
only
don't
speak
give a
for yourself,
fuck about what you have to
you
say.
know.
It's my truth.
And I think
I
that
saw a dog in the background. How much is that doggy in the background? Ruff,
sorry,
ruff.
badass, badass. Um, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we have things like court that can argue what's truthful and what's not. And it's
Hmm.
people who ardently believe what they're saying to be true.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we have, a circumstance where people
Come on,
can,
ardently.
well, what wrong with ardently?
My friend's intelligent. Go ahead, friend.
I'm pretty sure I said ardent last week too. You
If you
probably,
did, I missed it because I would have called it. I'm like, come on.
um,
Ting. Somebody was paying attention in class.
yes, I was.
He's
But it's like
smart. He's smart.
I try to, you gotta have $10 words to do what I'm doing. So you can't. One of the things that I do say a lot is, you know what I'm saying. I say that a lot actually, and
You do a lot,
um,
a lot, a
break that up.
lot.
But
I'd be like,
y'all
shut up. Ugh. No, I don't know what you're saying.
anyway, so uh, yeah, it's just one of those things, and I think that
Hmm.
these conversations need to be had in a open forum, where it gives people an opportunity to be able to express themselves. I want to be able to create a safe space whenever I do these kind of things. You know, I want
Absolutely.
I want people to be able to feel like they can be unadulterated. I guess not disrespect.
Hmm.
Because that's a different type of show, and I don't really dig into that too much. But
Absolutely.
for me, I want it to be impactful. I want it to be meaningful. I want it to be something that people can go and take something from. You know, what I'm
Hmm.
saying? At least that's the intent of when I came up with this show. Um, I don't really like the debate shows. When people get on and they do let's talk about current events and this is what I think and then this is what you think and we just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I don't personally like that because people are very, they stand firm on things that they believe in. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And if you put it in a platform where people can argue their point, it continues.
Hmm.
And then eventually somebody gets upset. You know what I'm saying?
People get in their feelings.
Right. And it shouldn't be that way. It's like when people talk about
Get out your
politics,
feelings.
you should talk about politics. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It is it's in you should because it's in our, especially if you're black, it's in our lives every day. You know what I'm saying? We are universally affected by the laws of this land more than anybody else. You know,
Hmm.
so the idea that we can't have a conversation about politics because it's going to go there, I just never really understood that that argument. And I just look at it like, at the end of the day, if you feel like you can go there, set boundaries for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's what I was going to say. I don't think people are, a lot of times, the people that do hold such hard beliefs to politics aren't really open enough to other people's perspectives. And they don't know how to have those conversations without turning up because it almost seems like when you have those hardcore people that want to go in and in and in about how they feel, it's almost like they are in like this type of fraternity where they make the politics their whole livelihood. And I'm like, baby, your political party is not paying you. Why are
Mhm.
you so gung ho about it? Did you
Mhm.
even vote in the primaries in your local city? You didn't. You didn't even vote. We just had a vote here in Jacksonville not too long ago. I
Mhm.
asked about four of my friends if they voted. They didn't even know what I was talking about.
Lord, yeah. And those are the ones that
Politics ain't just
we
the president.
it's the primaries, are the ones that affect us the most. You know,
Hmm.
laws in your local city. You should be
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. We just voted for like the city council and the water commissioner, whatever that is, the something of the board, commissioner of the board, and I said the city council, another supervisor of elections runoff. Like these are things that people who talk so much about politics know nothing about, because anytime they want to talk about politics, all they want to talk about is the president and who the president
mhm,
is or was. It's
mhm.
never about anybody on the local level. Like,
And that's also how we were trained in school too. You know what I'm saying? We were trained to look for it. I know, well, at least in Albany, Georgia. I can't speak.
look, I was like, I don't think I was.
I mean, there,
You
there are a
know,
lot
I
of
knew.
people that I know that like there was a good friend of mine. Well, it was Darlena's sister-in-law. She
Hmm.
actually ran for, I forget what it was, for a seat in Georgia. I wish I could have voted for her, but it was interesting that a lot of people just didn't turn out the way that they should have.
Right.
It's won by small margins, those type of things, and you know
Hmm.
those are the things that you should definitely be looking at. But what I was going to say, the other caveat that I was going to say is sometimes it's okay to get to the point where it's okay to get passionate about something. There's a difference between passionate and hostility. You know,
Hmm.
uh, to be passionate about something means you're human. It means
Hmm. Absolutely.
walking around here just letting things happen. You feel, you know, and I think that when people try to use that as an armor, against you, as, oh, look at him, he can't even really, he's all into it, and he's taking it personal. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't I? This is something that affects me. Why wouldn't I take it personal?
Hmm.
So it's okay to get to the point where you get crunk with folks. It's just that you can't put your hand on people. You know what I'm saying?
Because
When you do that, when you reach out and touch somebody, it becomes a different situation. You know,
because we can have
now we
those
got an assault
conversations if we
charge.
need to.
Now we got an assault charge that we got to answer for.
Hmm.
We got to involve the law and the courts. Just don't put your hand on nobody.
It don't touch me, because once
Don't
you touch me, everything beforehand is invalid,
right.
and we
Don't
can
act
spin a
like you at a
box.
spades game. Okay. Don't do that. Don't act like it's a spades game. You know,
Or a Uno game,
because you used the diamond when you knew damn well that it was clubs, and you got a club in your hand because I'm over here counting cards, so I know
and now
what you.
you're reneging.
Yeah, now you're reneging on this book that we made. Come
Why
on,
are you playing if you can't follow the board?
can you play the game? You know how to play spades. Why are you even
You
here?
can't if you can't
Who
follow the table. Why are you here?
whose man is this?
Whose man's is this?
Yeah, whose man is this? And
Why are you here?
you know
Why
how
are you here?
we are about our spades game now. Don't fuck that up.
Listen,
Mm-mm. We will
listen.
infiltrate the spade
It's
game. That's
I'm.
why I don't even
Everybody
play.
knows I'm from Chicago. That's like a birthright. You have to know how to play spades.
Yeah, and most of space is really shit talking.
It is, and that's what makes it the most fun.
I don't like it. I can
The
play.
cutthroat. I
If
like
people ask
cutthroat spades.
they ask me, do you play? Yeah, I play. Do you want to play? Mm-mm. Nope.
You play. That's because you play like you playing gin rummy or something. I'm like, no, you.
Well,
This is not gin. This is not I declare
I
war.
mean, because I
You
want to
need
be
to. You need to go in. If
nah, man.
your team bid seven, we bid in seven, and who we gonna set?
It's
Because
too much.
clearly
It's too much energy. I can't.
somebody can't count books. We
Yeah,
counting bags.
somebody recently through this. They bringing up old memories over there. Look at you. Somebody
Ooh,
don't know how
could you tell?
to. I saw a flash. It was like, this is hitting right here in this heart
I
right now.
felt it a couple weeks ago. I was like, why are we playing? Like, why are you my partner? You suck.
Yeah.
Like,
And you say that shit out loud to them. That's the sad part about it.
why are you my partner? Why are
Yeah.
you my partner? You suck.
Hey, go get your
Go over
kid
there.
better than you.
Where
Keisha,
your
come
mom
on.
at?
Mm-hmm.
Where you
So
from? Oklahoma, you don't know how to play. Where you
you
from? Los Angeles. Which part?
don't
South Central. Come on.
get out. You don't know how to play.
Good.
Um,
Oklahoma, you don't know how to play.
because I have been on the part. I've been on the receiving unit. That's why I don't fuck with that.
Nebraska. Who lives in Nebraska? There's black people in Nebraska.
That's a good question.
No,
I've
there
actually,
definitely is, especially
I
Omaha.
I
Ooh,
do want to go to Nebraska though. What's up, Tiffany? He said,
No, you
Oklahoma.
don't.
I'm screaming, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiff. Tiff is one of my classmates, my former classmates. She know what I mean about Oklahoma. She used to live in Oklahoma. I think she still is. No, she's not in Oklahoma. Wait, Tiff, are you still in Oklahoma? Are you in Oklahoma, Tiff? I know you were at one point. I done picked up my phone now so I could see.
Oh, you can see the comment. Oh, right. Gotcha.
Yeah, because I went into the room. I went into the room so I could see some of the comments. Hey, Emma. Emma's watching. Hey, Emma.
Hey,
Oh,
Emma.
Emma, watch this from the beginning. I know you. I said some stuff. I know you want to hear, girl. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Tiff is still in Oklahoma, so she understands what I mean.
Silver.
Everybody in Oklahoma can't play spades.
What's up, Emma? How you doing? Welcome back, sweetie. Welcome back. How's that week
That's
of
Emma
marriage
May.
going? How's that week of marriage going? Have,
Right.
have y'all
Emma, I know you better not be on your honeymoon trying to be on this live, girl.
have y'all choked each other yet? Just kidding. Don't do
They
that.
probably have, but not in the way that you. Ooh.
Ooh, why are you telling her business? Don't do that. Don't do that to Emma. Don't do Emma like that. We trying to have wholesome fun over here. We trying to have wholesome fun.
I'm sorry, Emma. I love you. I love you, Emma. Emma is so funny. I love Emma.
So
So it's
well,
funny because um I won't I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but Emma's a very cool friend of mine.
mhm,
And she knows some of the ordeals that I've gone through
mhm.
um with said company. And we're just gonna leave it at
He ain't even claiming them.
that.
That's horrible.
What'd you say?
I said you ain't even claiming them no more. You said said company.
Well,
I'm messing.
I can't claim them. I don't work there. They can't claim
Oh,
me.
too bad. That's true. Good
So
point.
so, you know.
Hmm.
So we're gonna leave that where that is.
So I I want to tell you thank you because I got back yesterday morning from Vegas.
Oh, good, nice. I saw some pictures. I was like, "Ooh, she's living. She's living and she's giving."
I want to say, yeah, I told you this before, but thank you for, coming on and
Of
jump right back
course.
onto for work today.
No, ma'am. I
I
would have
got
went
to
back
have at
on
least a
Monday.
day before I go back to work.
I would have went back Monday. I'd be like, "No, I had to travel. My flight was turbulent. I need to recuperate. I'll see y'all Monday."
Hmm. Um,
That's like when you would go on like spring break or Christmas break and you would come back to school on like a Wednesday. Why? I'll see y'all Monday. Bye.
hmm
Mama, we ain't gotta go back till Monday.
I
I
ain't
just
never
called the
had
school.
spring
They said we back on
back on.
Wednesday. I'm going back on Monday.
I've never had that before.
Never?
Mm-mm.
Or even at like the beginning of the school year when school would start. Well, up north in Chicago, school usually started, well, back then, after Labor Day. So it would
Hmm.
either start like the Tuesday or the Wednesday.
Hmm.
I'll see y'all on Monday. I
Hmm.
don't really give a damn how y'all summer vacations went. I saw most of y'all over the summertime anyway. I'll see y'all on Monday.
So did you grow up in Chicago
Partially, yes.
and you lived
Um,
here at one point
I
or?
was in Chicago from 92.
Hmm.
Yeah, 92 to 2000. So even though I didn't live in Chicago the longest parts of my life, that's where I was mainly raised. So that's my
Hmm.
hometown
Hmm.
to me. I
And
did live here.
where?
I lived here back in, oh Lord, 80
Hmm.
kindergarten, first, and some of second grade. I spent
Hmm.
here.
Hmm.
Um, then mom went out to sea. Can't remember. We went to Pensacola, then to Norfolk, then to Chicago. So Pensacola, Norfolk, Chicago.
And your mom's still in Chicago?
Yeah, she's still up there.
When's the last time you went to Chicago?
I was just there in November, October, November.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I've
I went
never.
there for my grandmother's birthday, and then
I,
I came back here the beginning of
I was
November.
in
Yeah.
Chicago for like 6 hours once.
Mm-hmm.
I went. I was in the military, and his name is Edwin Revis was his name, and we became fast friends because we were both doing rear duty. Rear D is what we call it. And
Mm-hmm.
that was our company was forward. They were over in Afghanistan, and I had come back because my grandmother had passed away, and they had no intentions of sending. Well, it was we were in limbo for a while, but I don't think they were going to send us back. So we had to do special duty, which was a whole lot of nothing. And one of the things that we did was we both worked at the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
The chow hall is what they used to call it. And so anyway, he and I both were put on this duty, and basically we just had to scan the soldiers' cards, their
Mm-hmm.
cards, so they can get their meal or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
And anyway, he was from Chicago. He was born and raised in Chicago, and like I said, we became fast friends, and we had to go to Chicago to pick up his wife and daughter. It's his wife and daughters because he had two daughters. And he was like, "You want to go with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've never been to Chicago before." I was like, "Sure, why not?" So we drove up there. Man, probably worse. That had to be at least 8-9 hours, if I'm not mistaken, from where we were in Tennessee to Chicago.
Sounds about right. Yep.
And then we got there. We went to Humboldt Park. And the reason why I wanted to go to Humboldt Park is because that was the same. Because the Real World was recorded there in
Mm-hmm.
'04, I think it was. Oh no,
No.
one, oh
Oh,
one.
one. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to go to Humboldt Park because I love that. I love that season. So we went to Humboldt Park. We saw that. It was really nice. And then he showed me the different sections of Chicago. They had like the Latino section or Puerto Rican section or some shit like that, the Jamaican section or something along those lines. And then I saw gas was like $2.99 at the time when it was $1 everywhere else.
Right. Basically.
And we went to this place, this Puerto Rican restaurant, and that was the first time I had ever had platanos, and I had this little sandwich, and his daughter couldn't have been no more than about 8-9 months or something, maybe a year.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting in the back, and I'm trying to eat my sandwich, and she kept grabbing grabbing for my sandwich, and I was like, Nelly, because that was her name, Nelly, stop, and he just laughed, because she was trying to take my damn sandwich, and anyway, I gave up trying to eat it and ended up falling back asleep. I think we got back at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and
Mm-mm.
yeah, it was probably the craziest thing, but it was an experience. You know what I'm saying? I was like
Absolutely.
24 years old at the time, and it was the
Oh,
best.
you old.
And I caught back up with this guy like maybe 10 years ago, and we've kind of kept in touch over the years, and yeah, he's in Dallas now. I don't know why I told that story, but that was my
No, it was a great story.
it
I
was my
liked it.
my, my introduction to Chicago, and it was so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do want to take Carlos to Chicago and just walk around and all that stuff. We went to Lakeshore Drive. We saw that. We saw Hoppo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When that was there, because that was still going on.
Yes.
Emma says, too much for one
Too
day.
much for one day for me. I was gonna say you that's a lot to do in Chicago in one day. Like, no,
Let me
you gotta
tell you
stretch it
this.
out.
So I back in 2015, this is before Carlos and I got married. Um, I when we first started dating, I told him, I said, he's only been in Florida and New Orleans at the time, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, maybe, and just driven through.
Everything in the South.
Yeah, because he's from Florida, or he lived in Florida, and I was like, I it's gonna be my business to make sure that you see all 50 states while we're together. That was my plan.
Amen.
So I was like, yeah,
Aw.
because it's interesting. Well, the first time that we had actually went on a cruise together, he had never been on a cruise, and it was almost intoxicating because Carlos had never seen some of the things that he saw, and the reason why I said it was intoxicating was because I got to see it through his eyes. So things that
Mm-hmm.
I had seen before, and was like, "Oh, okay, that's every day for me." He was like, "Oh my god!" So I became addicted to traveling. So my friend Kima and I, we were in the military together, and Carlos and I wanted to have like a honeymoon type thing. And our intention was to get married earlier in 2015, but it didn't happen
Mm-hmm.
because of his situation with his divorce or whatever. That's another story. I don't have time to tell that one. And so so we decided to go to Philadelphia.
T.
We decide, yeah, one of these days, I'll tell everybody. Um,
Ooh,
but we decided
T
to
is
go.
great.
Type it out right. Decided to go to was it DC? No, it wasn't DC. No, obviously it was Philadelphia. And my friend Kima, who my my friend Kima decided to come along with us.
Oh.
So when we got to Philadelphia, we stayed at this hotel, this beautiful hotel, and we were right downtown in Philadelphia. But we only had X amount of days, there.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go out to another hotel out by the airport because, it was just way too expensive. They got a special deal or some shit like that. Now, if you want travel trips, go to Kima. Kima will she know all the shit. She gonna get you right when it comes to traveling.
Come on, Kima. Give me Kima
Right?
number.
So I say all that to say we decided to go to Philadelphia, and the last day we stayed in this janky ass hotel room. But it really didn't matter because I had made plans to go to New York, right? Because New York is only about 2 hours, 2.5 hours away from Philadelphia, not that far.
I think so, yeah. 2.5, yeah.
And I was like, this will be a great opportunity. And this was when Megabus had just came out, so you can literally
Ugh.
get a bus ride for like $10. So I paid $30 for his ticket, Kima's ticket, and my ticket. It was
Mm-hmm.
round trip. So we go to New York, and we had from the time we got there until I think it was about 11 o'clock or something along those lines. So we had about 14 hours in the city. We were in that city nonstop. When I tell you, we went all across that whole city, with the exception of we didn't go down to the subway. We just didn't have time. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't get a chance to go to Battery Park, or did we? Did we go to Battery Park? We didn't get a chance to go to Battery Park or Central Park or anything like that because we just didn't have time. When I say we walked around that whole freaking city in 14 hours, we literally did New York. We fucked New York for 14 hours. Like, we were over that whole entire city. By the time we got done, Carlos was like, "Love, I can't." I was like, "Let's
You can't.
go." Yes, you can. Let's go. Kima was like 17 blocks ahead of us because she was pissed. And I know I've known Kima long enough to know when she's upset. And she was gone. Like, she was like far ahead of us because we had to find where we were going. And luckily we had our phones to tell us how to get there. And it was quite a
Mm-hmm.
ways away. The last stop we went to was Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
And, New York don't let you can't piss or poop or nothing like that unless you buying something.
Yes.
So we had to figure that out.
And you
And
weren't even that far from Central Park if you were at Times
huh?
Square. You weren't even that far from Central Park if you were in
But
Times
I didn't
Square.
know how to navigate. I didn't know how to
I was gonna
navigate.
say
So
you probably didn't know, yeah.
yeah, and we did the hop on hop off tour. So we
Oh,
didn't
got
get
you.
to go to Brooklyn. We were on the Brooklyn Bridge. We bought two pictures. Actually, one of them is right over here that had the what was it? The town shit. Is it the Twin Towers?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah. You ain't missing anything in the subway. Carlos wanted to go. Um,
Listen, Emma. The subway is everything. You get to see people peeing. You get to see rats. You get to see people doing the acrobatic things on the bars. You get to hear the drunk people rapping and singing and off key,
it would have
and
been an
you get to see
experience,
people
but I
sleep
would
in the corner. Maybe
I
somebody
would have loved
masturbating in the other corner. Like, there's so much you can see on the train.
I would have loved to gotten an opportunity to see it all, but we were all over that place. Carlos,
Except the masturbation. No, thank you. That's I,
oh,
mm-mm.
I'm good on
That
that.
happened to me, and I was like, oh, what are
Well,
you doing?
it, it,
Stop.
when you gotta go, you gotta go. I guess.
Just don't go there.
Yeah, just don't go. Um, but yeah, we took so many pictures. It was a beautiful time. It was a very beautiful time. And by midnight, we were worn out, and we drove back to Philadelphia. We were in the hotel room. We were not comfortable with that hotel room, so we put the "Do Not
Oh,
Disturb" sign on there, so the motherfuckers didn't come in our room.
there we go.
And it was horrible. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that, but honestly and truly, it was because I wanted to. I was trying to be cheap at the time, and that was fun. That was interesting. And
Hmm.
since then, we got married in December. Since then, we've gone to a number of cruises.
A
Um,
number.
Denver, we did last year. Um,
Hmm.
where did we go on our? Oh, we went to Miami on our anniversary in December.
That doesn't count. That's still Florida,
Well, yeah, but we
but it is Miami. Miami's a whole different. I get
we
you.
we got married in Florida, so it's kind of like a paying homage to the state. You know what I'm saying? We try our best
Hmm.
because sometimes you get cabin fever around here, and it's the same shit that everybody else has access to. We
Right. Hmm.
sometimes want to go to places that are in the state. Like for example, we did Destin, year number 5.
Hmm.
Uh, what did we do?
Oh, my cousin just logged on. Hey, Neat. I see you, Neat. Neat. Neat, cousin. Hey, Neat. So this is my cousin. People watching is the only thing. You aren't missing a thing. I mean, listen, sometimes the people watching is the best part.
Yeah.
You can
Um,
see some sights and some sights. Hello.
oh, we did LA. We did do LA. Um,
Hmm.
and that was a beautiful experience in LA too. We did Big Bear Mountain. That was the first time he had ever seen snow.
Hmm.
Um, what else? Colorado. Colorado, I felt like I was gonna die because that air is very thin up there in
Yeah.
Colorado. Very freaking thin.
Hmm.
When it,
He was
it
like, no, thank you.
and you feel like you are a million feet in the air. Seriously, to me, I don't know for you, but when I was in Colorado, I felt like I was looking down, no matter where I was in the city.
At us peasants down here in
No, not even
Florida.
not like that. Literally, because of the altitude being so high, it felt
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I'm literally looking down.
Is it
Oh,
is it Denver? Denver's the Mile High City.
yes,
Is that Denver?
Denver, and that's where we were. We were in Denver, and stayed at a hotel there. Probably wasn't the best. So it was Hotel Inn or Holiday Inn, I think it was. Um, and
Stopping at the Holiday Inn.
Carlos has
Stopping at the
friends
Holiday
in
Inn.
Colorado, and my
Okay,
friend
nice.
Roxanne, and I was in the military with, she was there as well. So I got a chance to see her. And last time I saw her was in 2020. No, 2019. I think it was. Yeah, 2019, and that was interesting. And I took my mom with me. I had my
Hmm.
cross, and it has her ashes in there, so she traveled with.
Hmm. Yay.
So let's.
Yay. But I did want to say, I think even you sharing those things brings us back to like the theme of everything we were talking about. And I'm gonna say that the theme of this of today is someone sneezing outside? I don't know what that was. Um the I'm gonna say that the theme of this podcast is perspective. And
Hmm.
I think it's very, very important. Even when we were talking about politics, even when we were talking about my situation, even when we were talking about, you going somewhere that you had been before, like, and this is all right, but Carlos having the time of his life.
Hmm.
I think that's why it's so important to try to be open minded to people's perspectives. And not to try to bring it all back to knowledge or something, because this was a great conversation. But that really does drive that point home that we have to be very, very open and perceptive to people's perceptions. I
Hmm.
think, and perspective. I think that's extremely important. So,
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
I just want to sound all deep for a second.
and it's funny that you say that, but even with that being said, like seeing him, like for example, when we went to DC, oh my gosh, he it was like a dream for him. I had been
Hmm.
before. I mean, obviously, you know, I say obviously, but it's full of monuments, but there are a lot of black people there. You know what I'm
A
saying?
lot, a whole
And
bunch.
um, seeing him, just seeing the monuments, like he cried when he saw Abraham Lincoln. You know,
Oh,
saw the monument. He
yeah.
saw. We got a chance to see the White House. Off in the distance there. We did get a chance to go to the African American museum, which was free for uh, veterans. So veterans and their party.
Hey,
We didn't
man.
get a chance to go to. We got to see, like Emmett Till and the early '90s or early 1900s, 1800s slavery, all that stuff. And there's a second
Hmm.
floor where it's like the influence that black culture had. We didn't get a chance to go see that because we just didn't have. We were with Darlena at the time, and Darlena had to. We had to take it to the airport, right? Yeah, we had to take it to the airport. God rest her soul. Um,
Yeah.
so we had to take it to the airport, and then we went to go see my buddy George, mom. And George he had passed away a year at that point. Um, and it's funny because Darlena actually did get a chance to go out to his gravesite. You know,
Wow.
so don't get me to tearing up. I wouldn't tear up, but
It's okay.
it's mm, mm, mm,
Those are if you do, because you're a water bag.
mm.
Listen, you and Emma would be good friends because y'all just be crying like that. But sorry, Emma, I love you. But no, it's okay. Tears aren't automatically sadness. Tears aren't automatically, grief. Tears are just happy. They can be happy. People cry when they're happy. Emma was boohooing left and right at her wedding, child. I was like, Emma, quit crying, girl. But, so
And
ain't no shame. Listen, ain't no shame in crying. Ain't no
it just
shame.
it just makes me think like, you know, a year later we were.
Hmm. It's all right.
Oh, I miss her so much.
I know. I know. I
I
wish
really.
I had a tissue. Hand you a tissue through the camera. But see, I know, I don't have all the answers and things, but you having those memories and you even expressing those memories and even having the joy that you had in those memories shows you that she's still there. That's how I feel. It's
Yeah,
her little reminders. Hey, I'm still here. Remember this? Remember this? Like, I think that's amazing.
she was such a good
Yeah.
person. Such a good
Come
person.
on, Neat. Tell it. Tell it, Neat. Tell it, Neat. It is. And absolutely, Tiff, it's okay. Like, listen, all of us cry. Even me. People think I'm cold hearted and I'm black hearted and I don't have emotions. We have our
Oh, why you
moments,
got me
and
crying
it's
on
okay
this show in front of all
because it's okay. This is, how we were
these?
talking about putting the human back in human resources. We're putting the human back in REGGEE apostrophe S.
God, my God. She was. If y'all had the opportunity to meet her, you would be just as hurt and like. And what's funny is I hadn't thought about that in so long
Wow.
that it makes me sad to think about. Like I actually had a moment where I was like, "Damn, she's gone," you know.
Hmm.
And she was 37 years old. So I'm gonna quickly tell her story since you guys are listening.
Go for it. Go ahead, please.
Darlena,
Absolutely.
I. Give me 1 second. I'm also gonna show my mom too.
Do you have on clothes?
Do I have them clothes? Yes, I do.
You stood
So,
up and I was like, are those underwear? Hold on now. Danina!
um, uh, so Darlena and I met in high school. Uh,
You better say that, Tiff. Listen, my friend's smart. Tiffany is my friend from grammar school, not from high school, grammar school. My friend is smart, she is kind, and she is important. And she is educated. She is black girl magic personified.
Hmm.
Love her.
I appreciate you,
Can't wait
Tiff.
to see her. But
Uh,
back to you.
so we met in high school. I was a senior and she was in 10th grade. And
Mm-hmm.
um,
Because you old. But
ha,
go on.
um, and she was actually a friend of my, well, I call her my sister, but she was my half brother's sister. So, we
Okay.
like playing folks.
Absolutely.
And anyway, we became friends. I was dating somebody at the time, and Darlene and her didn't get along at all for some reason.
Why
And,
did
Darlene,
I not know you could say
I liked her. I liked her in school. I wanted to date, but unfortunately, she wasn't allowed to. So we just maintained friendship. So I ended
that?
up
Mm-hmm.
that summer. I ended up going into the army, and I was back during Christmas time after my training for leave. They gave us 30 days, and I just walked through the mall, and I see her at one of the kiosks. And I was like, "Oh, hey!" And she stopped me, and we exchanged numbers at the time. And and actually, fall back. I saw her. I went to. So that's not necessarily the case. Hold on. So I saw her at high school, and we wanted to keep in touch with each other. We just didn't. So a couple years later, this is when I was in. At this time, I was in Iraq, and I was home from my 2 week 2 week, whatever you want to call it. Mentor leave is what they call it. So I was walking through the mall. This was in '03, and I see her, and she jumps. She's like, "Hey, Red," and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" That's my nickname. And she's like, "Oh my God, I hadn't seen you in so long." And blah blah blah. And we exchanged information, and I told her to write me when I was over in Iraq, and she did. She wrote me. So when I got back, you know, from Iraq, I went home to Albany as I always do, and we hung out like nonstop. It was me, her, and Tommy. We were like four flat tires. We hung out with each other all the time. During my time frame, I was in Albany. And whenever I came to Albany, it was always them two. I was always hanging out with them. So they ended up moving away from Albany and going up to Columbus. And Darlene and I, kept in touch with each other, but we also had a distance in between each other also. But there became a point in time, and I would say in 2013, because one thing I will tell you about Darlene is she was very intense sometimes, and I think it was because, and I think she instinctually knew that she wasn't going to be here long, right? So I get the intensity now. Now when I look back at it. So anyway, um, in 2013, our friendship kind of took a change from just being a standard friendship to like, this is my homie, this is my girl, like, this is my ride or die now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting because we were both like entering our 30s at the time. I was 33. She would have been 31 because she's 2 years younger than me. And, you know, we just forged a strong bond after that. And, she and I would converse and talk to each other, and I would always give her advice and vice versa. And I had always been close to her family as well. So, um, fast forward to a couple years later, I meet Carlos. I introduce her to him. And the first time they met was at the wedding. That was the first time they had ever seen each other. They both had interacted over FaceTime or wherever other places that they would interact on. So that was the first time that they met. And that was the first time that her and George met. George is my other friend who passed away in 17. He's gone as well. And just over the years, she just became very, I don't know, it was deeper than a sister bond for me. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Um, and everything I ever wanted to do in my life, she always accepted it. She never was like, you shouldn't do that. She always gave me encouragement. And, and one of the things that she used to do, because she was a hairstylist, she used to be like, Reggie, because she would do makeup. She did, she's done makeup for a couple famous people, and she had this movie that she was a department head of called Whitewater, and they were releasing it on the red carpet, and she was like, "Reggie, I want you to come with me," and I was like, "When is it?" "Tomorrow." I was like, "Darlena, I can't get off in time. You got to
Oh,
give me more time than that to be able to do it." And she's like, "I know, but you should just tell them that you can't come in." I was like, "Girl, I don't even have the money to be able to buy no ticket to get there." You know what I'm saying? So you got to give me at least 2 weeks. And I remember saying that. She's like, "Oh man," and she ended up going by herself, which Darlena always does. She was always fearless in that way. And I just got to see her prosper over the years, and it
yeah,
was interesting because every person that interacted with her just fell in love with her immediately. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there was a year when I turned 36 or 38, I think. She got Keisha Knight Pullum to wish me happy birthday.
mm-hmm.
That was super sweet. She
Oh,
would FaceTime me, when she was doing her makeup. Whenever she ain't supposed to do all that, and she got me. She was
right.
like, "Hold on, Reggie," and she would just show everything that she, was going on over there. It was so enamoring, so amazing. And Darlena was not only for herself; she was for the community because
Absolutely.
she came up with this thing called um, "Beautiful Strangers," dinner with beautiful strangers, which basically meant, and people actually would get involved and want to do it. But if you were a stranger, buy a ticket, you were going to be friends with the people you met at the end of it. It was networking. She brought a lot of film crews to Columbus, and she was doing really big things, up until the time she passed away. So in 2019 um, was the year that she passed away. But
Mm-hmm.
earlier in that year, Darlena was starting to have, some things kind of happen, health wise. And she would get these cysts, right? And, every few months she would have to get them lanced. And, they would lance them, they would come back. And sometimes they wouldn't heal, but, she didn't think anything of it. And, unfortunately, she didn't have health insurance. So you couldn't get a clean bill of health, just being able to go to the doctor here and there every now and then. So long story short, November 5th was her birthday. I think the day before, Darlena went to emerging care, and they lanced it again. They got rid of it. It was under her arms. They lanced it again. And the very next day on her birthday, they called her and they said, "Hey, we need you to come in." And she goes, "Okay." They come in. It was like, "You have acute myeloid leukemia." She's like, "What the hell is that? I ain't never
Mm-hmm.
had that before." And it was like, "Well, you have it, and we're gonna, treat you for it." So she goes, "Okay." I mean, obviously, that's the best thing to do. And so they decided to admit her into the hospital, and they created a plan for her, to attack it aggressively. And it would have caused, the hair removal and all that other stuff that cancer does. And so that was on the 5th. On the 6th, 7th, I think she was there in Columbus for about a week, and then they told her that we're going to have to send you to Birmingham, Alabama. So they sent her to Birmingham, Alabama, and that's where her treatment was going to go because Columbus wasn't equipped to be able to treat her.
Right.
So she goes to Columbus, and I tell you, that next week we ended up going up to go visit her. I got some time off. My people from my job gave me time off to be able to go by, and that girl looked as healthy as could be. We drove all the way up from Florida to Alabama to come see her. We got a hotel room. We was only going to be there a day, and we just wanted to put eyes on her, just to make sure
Right.
she was okay. And during this time, we had found out that the leukemia was so bad that obviously they were going to have to treat her aggressively. And they said the amount of chemicals that she had in her body was that equivalent to someone who worked in a chemical plant.
Wow.
And Darlena, benzene, which is found in hair products and stuff like that, she was in contact of it. I mean, she had been a hairstylist for over 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
So we get there 12th of November. We see her. We had prayer. We did Facebook Live. It was beautiful. And that night, Darlena started to not feel well. And I remember walking around the hospital because she had pneumonia in her leg, and they were concerned, about that, and they wanted to try to treat that. But she was starting to get pretty sick. Now, um, I would say later on that day, Darlena had kind of succumbed a little bit to uh, the pneumonia, and she had become super tired. And they were also treating her for the cancer as well. So,
Wow.
it was, she was like, I don't feel any pain. I just feel sleepy. I feel like I want to go to sleep. So, after that, I would say a couple of days later, they had moved her from, you know, uh, the regular rooms to intensive care. And she wasn't awake at this point. And then on the 19th, she decided to go home.
Mm-hmm.
So from diagnosis to death, it was only 2 weeks.
Wow.
So, and talk about a life unfinished, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
all the things that she wanted to do. And I just remember seeing her cry, talking about she wasn't ready to go. And, I remember her saying, in one of the prayers, I'm going to be made whole. I'm going to go home well. I'm going to go home, healthy, and I'm going to be made whole. And, in our mind, we're thinking, shit, she going to walk out of this. You know what I'm saying? They said she had a 95%, success rate with
Mm-hmm.
cancer. Little did we know that she literally had 7 days from the day that we saw her to death,
Wow.
you know? And I remember feeling like, damn, how the fuck did this happen? How did we get this wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, did I not pray enough? Did I not
Mm-hmm.
believe enough? Did I not, what was it that he decided to choose her? I mean, Darlene still had a full head of hair. That same year, my sister had also went through cancer treatment. You know what I'm saying? And Trina came out on top. She was healthy. I actually, went and sat in with her on one of the cancer treatments, and it was overwhelming to see. So when Darlene was going through it, I thought for sure she was gonna come out alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And one of the things that she said, and you've heard me repeat this, and this will be the end of the story because I know it was a little long-winded, but I wanted to make sure that I
You
get
are perfectly fine.
the details of it and how much she impacted me as a person. What just happened?
Look, I was like, are we still there? I
What happened?
don't know. You froze, and
Weird.
I was like, is he there?
So the last thing that I remember, and it was very impactful to me, and it was live life on purpose
On
every day.
purpose.
Be kind
Absolutely.
to people. Live life
Mm-hmm.
on purpose every day and be kind to people. So through my grieving process, I decided to make that my charge to restart my podcast. So
Amen.
here I am. She's definitely with me. I have a tattoo here. Carlos got
Mm-hmm.
his first tattoo, um, memorializing her. Um, because I feel like she's always there. And
Absolutely.
after a while, it just like at a drop of a dime, every time I would talk about her, I would cry.
Mm-hmm.
You never get used to it. You never get used to that person being gone.
Mm-mm.
And the parts that hurt the most is when you forget. You know what I'm saying? Like earlier today when we were talking, it was interesting because that story about George, I've had 5 years to deal with his death. You know what I'm saying? And to remember that that happened and to connect the two was just that's what put me into that moment where I started crying. And it's the moments like that that makes it the worst, you know. And my mom was a little bit different because I don't know. I've had a constant reminder that my mom is no longer here,
Hmm.
and I think that's because number one, I have her cremains here, and then secondly, I think I was more involved with my mom's transition, which is why it's top of mind for me. Whenever I think about my mother, because I was there. You know what I'm saying? I got
Hmm.
my mom at different stages of transitioning, and I remember saying to her that it's okay if you have to go. Don't stay on our behalf. You know, you've been here long enough. I'm here to tell you that it's okay to go. And I think she knew that I wouldn't have probably been able to recover if I had actually seen it because my mom didn't pass away until that Monday. And me and Carlos had just traveled back from Albany to Orlando because
Albany.
we spent the whole week there. Just trying to set her up and we put her in hospice and all the things that you have to do. Palliative care, end of life care that I had never seen before,
Right.
never experienced. And when my mom passed, it was almost a sense of relief because it was like she's not suffering because my mom was
Hmm.
ill, you know, for most of my life, as much as I can remember, you know. So to know that she's not suffering, it's the pain is the same, but I don't feel sad that my mom is not here in the physical anymore.
Hmm.
I just feel sad about her last days of life. You know what I'm saying? Or last month of life, if you will. That's the part that I live in regret for because it was a horrible experience. Um, so I revel in the fact that she's made whole again, and she's not here physically; she's everywhere. And
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying. So um, here's a picture of my mom. This one right here.
Hey, mommy.
Yvonne Price Garner.
I remember once I think you were in Albany, and I was talking to you, and I distinctly remember you said something like, "Yeah, that's Miss Yvonne in the background," or something like that, and
Yeah,
I was like, "Who?" My mama. I said, "Oh, okay."
yeah,
I just never forgot. Yeah, that's Miss Yvonne back there.
yeah. My mom.
And I
Her name.
remember she said, "Hey," like she had known me forever.
Yeah.
I was like,
Like,
"Girl,
hey, how you doing? That's my mom
right."
always say that. She will always say that. Don't do it.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
come on, don't do it. Uh, hmm. Phew. Gosh. Mm.
It's okay. It's all right.
Together.
If I may just interject super quick. You said something that kind of hit me when you said it, and I don't want you to hold on to that. When you said about you feel bad because you forget. Um, I don't want you to look at it as that you're forgetting. Think of it as that you're living Darlena's wishes and you're living life on purpose. And it's not that you forget, it's just that, you just are living the life that, she would have wanted you to keep going and doing. And that's okay. You don't ever in the grand scheme of, are you supposed to remember it every single day? No. But but you do remember. And that's okay. There's no definition of time of when you have to remember stuff. Like, go and live that life, child. And say hey to her when you think of her. And laugh when you think of her. or cry, either or. But it's
They,
okay. There's
they,
no set
they,
timeline.
they used to call my mama Vaughn, and
Hmm.
I would go into the hospital room, and my mom would say, I was like, "Hey, Vaughn, how you doing?" "I'm doing all right." She would always say that. "I'm doing all right." And
Hmm.
when the people would come in and they would talk to her,
Yeah.
they used to be like, your mama's a character.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm doing all right. Uh, she was 70 years old.
Hmm.
You know, she was.
Amen.
So, um,
Amen. But I could see it because I remember that one interaction I've had with her. I just distinctly remember it because, like you said, she was a character, and I was like, clearly she's from the South, baby. But
born and raised.
clearly, but it's. I think you know what it is. I think she emanated this kind of just familiarity, this kind of warmth, this kind of just great spirit. And I was like, I get it. Like, I think that's why you have that as well, because she gave it to you. You have your moments where I want to slap the absolute dog shit out of you. But overall, overall, in the big package and grand scheme of things, you do have an amazing spirit. And I think that's her living through you as well. I think that's amazing.
So for
And if
anybody,
nothing else, huh?
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if nothing else, thank you for even sharing those stories. I think, they're amazing. To be completely honest, there's no shame in feeling those stories as you tell them, or even after you tell them. There's no shame in that. That's who you are as a human, is to feel, and it's okay. Feel it. It's all right. We ain't gonna judge you. Shoot, some of these comments, they talking about they crying with you, child. And it's all right. It's okay. It's
Uh,
okay. I think so often we're told, as even as men, we're just taught not to feel, not to express our feelings, not to show emotion. And I'm like, we gotta get past that. Baby, cry. It's all right. Ain't no judgment here. Get them tears out. Live in those moments. It's okay. Live in them. That's what keeps everything going. That's what keeps the memories fresh and keeps the happiness happy. It's just you just gotta, live through those moments. That's how I feel anyway. So it's all right.
so for those of you who are at all interested in why I do what I do, those two women are prime examples as to why I do what I do. And I feel them every single day walking with me. And
Amen.
I get to honor my mom, by speaking her name and telling her story, because she's not here to tell it. Same thing with Darlena. And I appreciate you guys allowing this to be a safe space for me to feel comfortable enough to share the story, because I do keep that close to me, because I haven't completely fully dealt with the. I mean, there's other things, like I'm not close to my family members because of a lot of stuff that happened with my mom, so it kind of informs a lot of my bitterness that I have towards them. So it still makes me a little upset, because even after I cry, I think about the shit that happened, and it pisses me off
Hmm.
all over again. And I just,
Listen, do we need if we need to take a trip and wreck shop? I stay
nah,
ready. I got
no,
plenty of free time,
right, sure, sure,
so
sure, yeah, yeah, you do. No, but it's, I pray to God that that they find their peace, and I pray to God that I find mine. But I'm not gonna lie, I've kept that anger close to me, and I need to let it go,
hmm.
and I don't know how to, because I find whenever I tell the story about what happened to my family members and why they are distant now, I have that same. I feel like I go back to that day again. I'm stuck in that day. That it all, and it was multiple days, but to me, it's a one conglomerate thing that has kind of caused me to be distant from. I'm closer to my father now,
Conglomerate.
and that's been
Conglomerate.
a year.
Really? That's good.
Yeah, that's definitely been. But I think I cling to him because my mom is not here anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But even still, I welcome the idea that we have a closer relationship now. We
Absolutely.
didn't
Hmm.
always we didn't always have that. So
I
uh,
remember. Absolutely.
yeah, it's so yeah. I mean, at the same, it's I'm working through it. Even though I
Yeah,
come up here and I create this safe space for everybody. Yeah, you can forgive, but don't have to forget. Yeah,
that's true.
I have to tell myself that too. Because at the end of the day, it's just have a good night. I still have to process that, and I'm a work in progress, and
Good
that's
night, whoever that was.
one. Um,
Juan Decimo.
one DC Mil, one DC Mil. Good night. Two waves.
He ain't
But that's
seen me,
all
but
I got.
bye.
That's all I got. I sorry that I overtook everything.
Oh my gosh, hush.
Uh,
Like you said, this is a safe space. There's no rules. There's no methodology.
yeah,
Just it is what it is.
yeah. I just want to tell everybody thank you. I mean, I'm going to name you guys: Emma, Tiffany, Neat. Um, you guys have all been amazing, and I appreciate um, your kindness in which you listen to the story. Um,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. Uh, and I'm a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? I try to do my best to be better than I was the day before.
Hmm.
You know, sometimes it's hard because I'm only human, but at the same time too, it's
And
you know,
sometimes you want to slap the dog shit out of people, but
yeah,
it's okay. You can't every day.
yeah,
Verbally, I've gotten really good at that.
yeah,
If I
yeah.
can't do it physically, I'm gonna lash you with this tongue, baby.
So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and say good night. Simply because
Oh, so soon.
I need to
Oh,
get my mind right. I need to just
oh, so soon already.
right, but I just have
I feel
to.
like we just started.
I got to clear this up a little bit, and
Yeah, I get you.
maybe
It's all right.
scream and yell, get some ice cream or whatever. Go boo boo, Uh, shit, I done told you everything. So at this point,
Clearly,
what's wrong with talking about
clearly,
boo boo? I mean, seriously,
clearly.
we all do it. But thank you again, all for coming on the platform and um, not creating the storyline, but helping telling your story.
No,
Um,
no, no, absolutely. Thank
and
you for having me. Seriously, thank you.
I hope that there's some semblance of reflection when it comes to this, and that somebody was able to take something out of what we got and what we talked about today. Yeah, ice cream does solve everything. I agree with you 100.
Listen, I wish Cold Stone was still open. I would go right now. I sure would. Be like,
So
Cold Stone, I want some ice cream.
before I
Maybe my
go,
sister has my car, but I can go order something on Uber Eats.
Jamal, do you have any lasting words that you want to say?
You know what? I do want to say thank you, Reginald. Even though you thank me for being here, thank you for inviting me here to, share my story. I think even in telling the story and even, having this particular platform to do so, um, actually did make me take a step back and think, and even though I say this all the time, I think it did open up a lot of different perspectives as I was explaining things, which I think is amazing. But also, again, thank you for having, not even directly for me, but thank you for having this type of platform that people can watch and see that there is humanity out there in this world of worlds. There's definitely people, we go through stuff, and it's how we react to those things that make us who we are, and I think that this is a perfect platform for that. So I say this publicly to anybody listening: if Reginald ever wants me to be a guest again, I am here. I mean, we have our relationship off of this thing anyway, but but if you want me, brother, I got you. Seriously, I mean
Yeah. Well, I
that. I got your
appreciate
back.
that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And Carlos is here. He's playing his.
Moncreefisha.
Bye, Alicia.
I see too many of this thigh. We need a prayer cloth for these thighs.
So Jamal, I'm gonna actually call you on my cell because this iPad is about to die. That's also another reason why I'm
Okay,
about to get out of it too.
no worries.
Thank you. Part three.
Part
Emma said
three, Lord, Emma and her suggestions.
shit.
Look, she gets a she gets a wow face reaction for that one. Wow.
I'm gonna call you on my cell here in a second.
Okay.
After ending this, but you guys know where to find me. Reggie's Expressions, REGGEE_S Expressions on Facebook and YouTube, and on Instagram it's REGGEES_expressions. You see, I got it back. REGGEES. I got it back.
You gotta have it. You need the invisible gum. REGGEE_S.
Expression.
I can't.
So, good night, guys. We love you. Appreciate it.
Bye. Mwah. I can't.